As media, if you've got questions for any of our speakers here on stage, please just raise your hand and then state your name, the media outfit that you belong to, and whom you would like to address the question to among our speakers on stage. Iikot po yung ating mga taga Mega Prime Foods to pass around the mic. So please just raise your hands if you'd like to start asking questions from them. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Anyone can answer. Can you tell us more about this branding and about Mega being a superfood and the wellness certification from the US?
Okay, thank you for that. First and foremost, of course, this packaging has been designed, believe it or not, by my wife and the design team. We really put a lot of thought into the packaging because it had to appeal to the American mainstream consumer. No? But if you see the contents, if you see how it's made, it's practically almost the same thing as with what you can get here in the Philippines with the green and red and the blue Spanish style. And we believe the partnership with the MWA is very crucial because it did take a lot of time to get that accreditation. And what Jim and my father and my mom said, we're probably the only ones in the world that does the catching to canning. So the fish are never frozen. So we went to Spain, to Portugal, to Morocco this year, where sardines was invented 130 years ago. Some canneries there that we've been to do 3 million cans of sardines a year. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, our company can do up to 3 million cans a day. So that is such a stark difference. We, the Filipinos, are now the epicenter of canned sardines in the world, and it takes an association like MWA and their help to accredit us with a superfood branding to make sure that we are the freshest and the highly delicious and most highest quality sardine brand there is in the world.
Thank you. We have another question here in the front first. I have one.
Okay, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. My name is Aaron Ross. I'm from SMNI. And first and foremost, I would like to congratulate the group for this achievement. It is not an easy feat, and maintaining it as a Filipino brand. Thank you so much. And for my question is, doing an expansion, it requires a lot of activities, and each activity, it has a lot of cost. Is there some kind of assurance that this beloved Filipino brand sardine will remain affordable to Filipinos?
Okay, thank you for that question. Let me just give you an example. We have 5,000 employees. We catch the sardines with 1,000 fishermen. We have 3 canning plants, employing 4,000 employees. But 1 can of sardines is only 25 pesos with 5 to 6 pieces of fish inside. So that is the current market price of our sardines for our Filipino market. But would you believe 1 can of tomato paste without any fish inside, where you can cook it for just 15 minutes, is 30 pesos. So what first is 1 buko, buko, it's coconut. 1 coconut now is at 30 pesos. So I was shocked when I was going to buy a buko the other day. So that's how cheap sardines is. But even though it's cheap, it's very nutritious. So a lot of Filipino people benefit for that. And for us, keeping the price low for our Filipinos is our objective, because we want to help out the Filipinos with their nutrition, with their food. Because without sardines, what will the Filipinos eat?
Okay, thank you so much. That was my question for here in the Philippines. For the question that would affect globally, do you have a specific timeline or time frame for the expansion, like when you reaching other countries as well?
Actually, I've been handling export for 25 years. And we have been exporting to a lot of different countries already, especially where the Filipinos are. So we export to 30 countries now. But with Jim here and with our expansion, we are targeting more countries. Jim, Thailand, tomorrow.
The company had an amazing, smart export strategy, which was follow the OFW. So they've been in Dubai forever. Why? Because Dubai has 500,000 OFWs in Dubai. So that had a very specific distribution plan. You find a distributor who focuses on Asian food stores. The target audience is Filipinos. Now, the big decision, strategic decision that was taken this year was, this is a healthy food for Filipinos, but it's also a healthy food for every human being on the planet. And so we decided, let's sell all the Filipinos in the world that know Mega and love Mega, but let's also sell everybody else. And that requires a bit more of a sale to a different distributor. Now we need a distributor who's not just doing Asian food stores, but is doing all the stores. That's a different distributor. It takes a bit of time. It takes about 6 months from the time you target a market to opening the market. So, we've been doing this just in 2026. We've opened Azerbaijan. We've opened Kenya. We've opened Jordan. We're opening right now Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Chile, Panama, Nigeria, and many more. I think, my assessment is Mega's already the #2 brand in the world already, and that's what the team has built already with their exports. I think Mega will be the #1 brand in the world, and it'll be the first Filipino consumer brand to be #1 in the world by the end of 2027. I think you'll have the #1. So this is the equivalent. Think about this. This is what we're saying in the business world is, this is the equivalent to Alex Yala not being #20, being #1. This company is already #2 in the world and starting. It will be #1 probably the end of next year. We'll have a CrustCon. We'll have plenty of sardines for you to eat when you come, but we'll be celebrating this within the next year and a half. So that's the timeline.
Just a follow-up, if you don't mind. How much was the initial investment of the company just to open stores or make the sardine available in the US?
I can't give you the precise number for 2 reasons. One, I don't know it, and 2, it's not in my right to share it. But I can tell you it's not a massive sum of money. Now, they were very smart, Mega was very smart, and how we sold Kroger, and how you can spend a lot of money doing this, or you can do it smartly. This was done in a very smart way to minimize costs. The only other thing I would want to ask you, if I was a Filipino consumer and this happened, I would be the happiest person on the earth, because you know why? They get these big orders from Kroger that help manage their costs. It's going to keep prices very competitive in the Philippines. Selling Kroger doesn't hurt the pricing in the Philippines. It helps the pricing in the Philippines, because now a chunk of Marvin's cost, a chunk of Michelle's cost, a chunk of the factory is being charged to America. And that provides savings for the home market. If you only sell in the Philippines, the Filipino consumer manages 100% of your cost structure. When you start exporting, you're able to spread those costs across many markets, and this is why all countries want exports. It's one of the reasons it helps the domestic market with cost structure. So this is great news for the Filipino consumer.
Thank you so much, and invite you the next few months when you do the #1 announcement as well. With Jim over here.
Yeah, I think let's give me 12.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm John Buena from Kumako.com. I'm a blogger. First and foremost, congratulations on this speech. While I'm in a celebrating mood with you also like thinking of something really might be a little, well, I don't know if it's bad news or not. Will this affect, of course, you're exporting a lot, right? And you expanding the U.S. market would mean you need a lot of supply. Do we have adequate supply? Where are we getting it? And is it not going to like cost overfishing per se?
John, can I answer that?
Yes, of course, sir.
Salamat naman. Anyway, it's all about sustainability fishing.
Yes.
Okay? Wherein we have 3 months of season period wherein no fish should be caught. And also the plant close down operations. So we have these 3 months for the fish to be replenished. So if we don't do that, after 2 years, wala na sila because we are fishing all out. Kaya that's why the term overfishing, medyo allergic ako dyan. Because when we are overfishing, that means saying we are not conserving, continuously depleting all the fishing areas. For us, the long-term goal is globally known Filipino brand. Yun ang kailangan. And we cannot have the non-raw materials available. So we cannot sustain that, having a Filipino brand globally known. So that's why we have to also adjust our fishing, and also we are looking for ways and means to take a look at other fishing grounds. Sardines is very known to Filipino families. Imagine a can of 5 or 6 pieces. It's good enough for one family, inclusive of the sauce which we are very known for. Very consistent, color is good, and tasty. And for us not to sustain would be in our not in our interest for the brand building. And that's why also DTI came out with the Tatak Pinoy, which is all about sustainability. Okay, so hopefully for those who have families or friends abroad, can you please help us broadcast that we would be available? Now that would be a great assistance to us, para at least yung mga kamag-anak ninyo nandun, hey, wait for Mega is going there. Please let us know if they are there. Maganda rin to have your feedback after a while. Okay?
Yes, sir. That's really great that you're doing the sustainability part. I'm really glad that that's being done. But is that being done on a nationwide scale? I know you might be doing it, but what about the other fishermen who might not be doing it? Is that something to be worried about?
Yeah, let me answer, John. We work closely with Bureau of Fisheries. We have been abiding by the 3-month ban yearly since probably 10 years ago when they did that. So for us, our company, we are strictly following it. For the other companies, I have no knowledge, but it's in the best interest of all the fishing, commercial fishing, to stop fishing because the sardines need to spawn. They need to grow. So for us, it's very important. Aside from that, we actually take care of the ocean. We have our initiative, the Mega Ocean Cleanup. What we do is when our vessels come back from the sea, we collect all the trash that we see in the sea on our path. So we bring it back to the land and recycle. Because when we go to the ocean, we see a lot of debris. And we don't want that, the fish don't want that. So we do our part, we clean up whatever we can for Mother Nature.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Wala pa. I'll start muna with the ladies muna. Ma'am, case po si Edman, if you don't mind. Yes, yes.
Good morning. I'm very happy and thankful to the Lord that Mega Sardines is about to conquer the whole world because of its quality product. I myself is buying Mega Sardines and I eat it right out of the can. I don't cook it anymore. And I don't eat rice. My question is, being a maritime journalist, can you have a sort of memorandum agreement with other fishermen that there should be a 3-month recess period before you fish the sardines? And do you intend to go to the West Philippine Sea to fish sardines? And my other question is, if you don't mind, would you want to put in your branding or what from the ocean to your table, nothing is wasted? I mean, you have to put that in your packaging so that the consumers will know that you catch them straight and can them straight, and then it's put on your table. Thank you very much. And congratulations to Mega Sardines.
Okay, let me answer that since sa fishing side, kasi yun ang I've been fishing for so many years. Going on West Philippine Sea, medyo may country ang controversial yan. Pero to let you know, sardines is being caught in pelagic fish in a shallow area. No, it has to be a continental shelf. Well, my continental shelf is not too deep, unlike the tuna where it is 3,000 meters. Sardines may be about 100 meters. That's where pelagic fish are being caught. Going on the memorandum of agreement with other fishing, all commercial fishing has to stop by November 15. And they would start by February 15. Those are commercial fishing. Because we need license with the Bureau of Fisheries so that we could operate. But while those that of commercial fishing, walang control. No? And that's why we are saying also that if we keep on conserving and others are doing the catching also or destroying the fish fingerlings by dynamite fishing, so that would be detrimental in our goal to achieve a globally known Filipino product. So then we have to go back to Bureau of Fisheries. How are they implementing that? And to let you know, all of you, sardines are being caught by commercial fishing, not municipal fishing. So, commercial fishing contributes a lot in terms of food security for the Philippines. Where does the municipal fishermen comes in? There are mostly for family subsistence or family use. So does that count them in terms of food security for the nations? Medyo mahirap. But there's political motive on those because those are the numbers. In politics, election get voted when they have the numbers. So unfortunately, that has to be done with political motives and political will. Okay, so hopefully, we as a fishing company would like to have that sustainability para at least yung brand building would not be in vain. Thank you.
Sir, good afternoon. Congratulations for your expansion. I am Joel Pereno of EWIC and ALU Channel 23. And anybody can answer, or especially si Sir William. Sir, how do you plan to
Ako ang paborito ninyo.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Robert.
Yes, sir. How do you plan to introduce Mega Sardines to mainstream American consumers beyond the Filipino-American community?
Trumpet, I would like to answer that, but that's not my expertise. So I would let other of our staff do that.
Of course, we need to deploy different advertising, promotional, and marketing aspects that we deploy from here. Number one, we studied the market really well in the States. What I said a while ago, it stems, number one, from the appearance and the pack itself. We will have to do a lot of focus group discussions. We will be getting a lot of influencers. If you can see also the doctor a while ago, that's just one of hundreds or even not even thousands of people in the US talking about sardines. So we will be capturing them, hopefully getting their help to promote our brand. So the US is totally different from the Philippines. Walang sari-sari store doon. And we really need the help of these influencers and these big names and partnering hopefully with a lot of different institutions for our brand to get known. But the first things first, it's really important that we're on the shelf and present. Then comes the hard part of actually convincing Americans to buy our product, which we are underway now.
Yeah, the one thing I would add is this format, which you love, is very different from the American format. The Americans are sold in the old 1830 flat tin. So the biggest challenge we have is just to make sure people understand this packaging. Now, I'm going to ask a question. Can we play the 1 minute ad for the U.S. market? Do we have it? Rolling? What's that? Okay, we can't do it, but we have an app that shows, this is actually very smart, because the fill length of the fluid is up here at the top. In any can, you have to have that much gap from the top of the can to the liquid to fill it. So if your tin is only this much, and you have to have that minimum space, a lot of the fish is exposed to air and it gets dry. This is actually a smart can. This is a very smart choice. So we have to sell it to the consumer. We have an ad that we will be airing in the United States starting in September. And then we have the influencers. We have all kinds of marketing to go behind this. And I'm quite confident it's going to work well.
Sir, my second question. How important is the partnership with Kroger to make us expansion in the US?
Well, it's a massively important because you have to decide how you want to launch in the U.S. because it's a very complicated market, and we made a decision, which I think was very wise, to start with one of the big three. The big three is Walmart, Kroger, and Costco. And we picked Kroger because Kroger, of all of the three, has more of a health focus. A focus on healthy products. And we knew that that would resonate with them, the sardine concept and the mega concept. So we went to Kroger, and thankfully they said, we'll take it. So that's our lead customer. As Kroger develops, we'll move into more and more retailers, but we'll work that at a later date. Kroger started putting on the shelf yesterday. So only right now are Americans starting to buy Mega. It's starting literally today and yesterday. And it's not across the country. It takes time to get the product in all parts of the country. So it won't be until September that we're in every store in the United States.
Got it. Yes, sir. So keep your hand raised up there.
Good morning, everyone, and congratulations, Mega. My question is, coming out to the market in the US, what is your target market share? What are the target markets that you are looking at?
Yeah, I think that, let me rephrase the question. The better question is, what's your target market share in Kroger? Because we're only in Kroger for now. So I'll give you some statistics. In Azerbaijan, we have achieved a 10% market share within 2 months. That's pretty amazing. I can tell you right now from my P&G days, a 10% market share in month 2, we would be having parties every day. We would have a merienda every single day. So our target market share is a minimum of 10% in Kroger, which is massive. It's massive. But nationally, because Kroger is only about 10% of the United States total turnover, then it's a 1 share. But you have to look at where you're available, not at national share.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Madam muna si Madam here, I'll go back here.
Good morning. Para kay Sir Marvin at kay Ma'am Michelle. By the way, I'm Miss Salario, Filipino Union. Na-mention po kanina na 3 million scans per day na nag-produce ng mega sardines. And sabi po dito sa press release na binigay po ninyo, mag-roll out kayo na mga mega sardines sa 2,750 stores under Kroger. Can you sustain that? Saka locally stores dito sa Pilipinas?
The answer is yes. We have enough capacity for our Kroger local and the domestic market. And don't worry, domestic market is still operating.
Okay. And then by next month, mid-September, mention niyo rin po na mag-start na po yung rolling out ng mabibili na po sa mega sardines. Ang tanong po, mag-a-adjust po ba ng taste ng ingredients? Kasi po, siyempre, iba po yung Filipino taste doon po sa another target po natin. For sure.
As I mentioned, it's almost exactly the same, no? Baka lang magbago lang sa preference. Ang Americans kasi, ang kinakain nila, hindi naman kanin. More on bread, more on salads, more on pastas. So we do not imagine tomato base will be on the highest priority. More of the oil and natural oil base ang mas preferred nila. Dahil nalalagay yan sa sandwich, nalalagay yan sa salad, at sa pasta. Madali ihalo. Tayo po sa Pilipinas, gusto talaga natin yung sauce at gusto natin sa pandesal at kanin. So talagang tomato base tayo. Pero hindi tayo nag-adjust dahil napakasariwa at napakasarap na ng existing formulation ng meta.
Okay, last for me. Ito po bang i-export po yung ating sa US? So, na-mention nga rin po ni Chairman Kachi and Canning. Paano po yung pag-export natin? Kakaroon po ba tayo ng planta doon sa US? O diretso po, from Kachi to Canning, diretso po sa US?
So all the production will come from the Philippines. So we catch and produce it here, and we export the finished goods to the US.
Yeah, that's why we should be thankful to the Lord that we have sufficient raw materials, sardines here in the Philippines. Sa ibang countries, other countries, they are having difficulties in getting supplies for sardines. So that's why the impact now is many countries are looking for sardines. And it's good timing for us with Jim promoting with the NWA certificate that more people are more conscious of their health. So that's why the sardines is coming out better than tuna now.
Thank you very much. One for our last 2 questions, sir. Please, this gentleman over here.
Sir, my question is, this is Sir from the 25 News. I would like to ask po, kasi sa panahon po ngayon, di ba, i-relate na lang din po natin sa kasalukuyang nangyayari sa panahon po natin. During typhoons and other disasters, canned food often becomes an essential part of relief operations. How does Mega Sardines prepare to respond when communities suddenly need for food assistance? And when how does the company adjust its production and inventory to meet the sudden increase in demand for canned food? Like now po, pangunahin po hinahanap yung Mega Sardines, sabihin na natin kapag may mga calamities po, mga pang-stock sa mga bahay.
Okay, sagutin ko dyan. It's during one of those disasters where we are contributing sardines to those areas. It so happened that helicopter ang dinadalan for the disaster area and they are giving it, throwing down. Kasi nandun mga tao sa baba and hindi man sa daan, so they are just throwing down the sardines. At that time, wala pang easy open yan. And over time, naisip namin, pag ganun, hirap ang wala nga can opener, wala nga makain. So that's why we thought, why not innovate and put easy open on the cans? Maski na saan, anytime, pwede buksan, you don't have to have a can opener. So that's wherein there's a need and we supply the needs by introducing the easy open to the Filipino market. So that's, pero nga, for us Philippines, that time only, pero other countries, they are having easy open already. So that's good for us to catch up. And by the way, that pull us through to be #1 sardines in the Philippines that year 2015 because of the easy open. Because our management team say that, okay, let's give to the Filipino people the easy open, even though it would be costing more, but we subsidize that so that at least the nation can have that easy open, more convenient. May binabanggit ka ulit na anong second question mo?
How does the company adjust its production and inventory to meet the sudden increase in demand for canned food?
Unfortunately, medyo mahirap adjust, no? Pero we have fishing seasons that's good for 9 months of the year. Pero it's not 9 months wherein you are doing all the catching. May mahina ka. So, top most is for 4 months of the year. So, 4 months of the year, we have all maximize our productions. Para at least we could have enough stock to lay over for the off-season. Kaya makikita mo, before end of season, yung mga warehouse mo has to have enough stock to supply for the 3 months of season. So that's why walang tigil ang paggawa namin ng warehouse. Kasi the demand grows, we need more stock and warehouse na naman. Kaya but that's a good point. Hindi bali dumami ang warehouse, basta dumami din ang Mega, dumami din ang support sa Mega Sardines.
The last question po, in terms of competition, Mega Sardines is already a market leader, and we know that. How do you keep the organization hungry when you are no longer the challenger but the brand everyone else is trying to be?
Ito yung bago.
Ito yung dun. Gagawa kami ng bago na
Number one is we have to keep the quality. That's our mantra. We have to have a very good quality sardines. Kasi yan ang hinahanap ng Pilipino. Sariwang isda, masarap na sauce, yan ang Mega Sardines. So we make sure that we will provide you good quality food. Number two, we are expanding. We have a lot of other products that is in line. And we are building powerful brands just as powerful as Mega. So sana supportahan our other brands. So endorser, Martin will answer the endorsement.
So meron tayong dalawang endorser ngayon. Isa dyan si Megastar Sharon Cuneta. At pangalawa dyan, kakalabas lang, ganun mo humbly keep our team competitive. If you see around you, palampakan niyo naman our team members of Mega are very, very talented. So,
Sa akin gusto ko malaman kung sinong nakakaalam kung sino ang artist at endorser natin ngayon.
Ayan.
May premyo yan, may premyo.
Kakalabas lang po namin, actually 2 weeks ago, ang bagong endorser ng Mega Sardines, sa top of Sharon Cuneta ay one and the best, Coco Martin.
And with that, our final question over here.
Manny Pacquiao. Kilala sa Amerika si Manny Pacquiao.
Given po yung US market expansion for Mega Sardines, ano po yung sales or revenue target yung siniset natin for this year 2026?
You mean for Kroger stores?
Yes, po.
Wala kaming sinet na target yet. But as of now, the initial order na doble na and triple because they wanted the sardines fast. So we have already shipped 5 containers to the US and meron pang shipping every week because we feel that marami talagang demand. So siguro ask me again next year when we are already the world's number 1 according to Jim. So I can give you a definite answer.
How many po yung production ng Mega Sardines yung magpapatasan?
As of now, it's not a big percentage. Within 5 to 10% ang na-export. So yun lang. Kaya marami pa rin talaga tayong domestic market. We really take care of our
Sorry about that. Can we before we end this, just a brief announcement. I know it's very engaging for all of you to ask our esteemed representatives over here. We are more than happy to have on the side later on. You can interview them one-on-one over here for our television and for other media. Feel free to interview them after our photo opportunity over here at the stage, at the side. We have a representative from Tatak Pinoy who decided to make a very special announcement for Mega Sardines.
Thanks, RJ. Once again, congratulations to the Mega Global family. Just like Michelle and Marvin, I grew up with Mega Sardines with Sir William and Tita Mary. So I've been with them for almost more than 2 decades, and Michelle also really started from the ranks. She was in charge in all local trade fairs in the Philippines until she started to do exports. I'm Mayos Rosan Bautista. I'm a Philpolex director. That's why I work with Chairman Lim for more than 2 decades, I think. And just recently, I am fortunate to be appointed by our president, BBM, to be the private sector representative from the agri and food sector. Because we believe that we can strengthen our voice to the Tatak Pinoy Council so that companies, well-deserved companies can be given the Tatak Pinoy label so it's easier for them to export abroad. Taking off from what Sir Jim Lafferty said a while ago, but we believe that Mega Sardines is already number 2 in the world. And we look forward that we will become number 1. And right now, I think the export figures for processed tuna and seafood is about, I think, 700 to 900 million dollars for 2026 for your sector. So with this, with Mega Sardines entering Kroger with 2,750 stores, we believe that this may double up, God willing, in a year time or in 2 years. And we are very happy for that because we badly need this in strengthening our economy and of course the agri-fishing industry in the Philippines. So thank you very much, Mega, for making sure that the Filipinos are well taken care of, and ensuring that the price of the sardines here will remain stable and affordable. And I also would like to add that the family of Mega Sardines, the new family, they are not just very good entrepreneurs, but they conduct their business with a heart. They are all prayerful and they give out really charity. And in our Filiplex organization, Chairman Lim has always involved in the Big Brother and Small Brother program, wherein he teaches the MSMEs and those companies who wish to export. He always gives his insights so that the MSMEs and our other members can also be export companies like Mega Sardines. So once again, thank you very much, and I wish you luck. I will do my best to make sure that Mega Global will get your tax seal pretty soon.